Howdy folks, my name is Effing Controller, and we're continuing on with our playthrough of P.T.O. 2, Pacific Theater of Operations 2. I do enjoy the theater, and I'm also an idiot. It is now the month of March, which means that the previous Admiral, Padre Reed, has departed. He has exited stage left, as they say in the theater. The theater of operations in the Pacific. So he's been replaced by Dark Shark 24 is what I'm getting at, which means that it is now Shark Month as opposed to Shark Week. Sink your teeth into this delicious episode. Dark Shark gave me what I will just call a general order rather than a list of objectives, and I have parsed his instructions thusly. I am to make all of my ships ready for all sorts of operations. Basically just do general repairs and resupply. We're going to be not taking a break per se, but getting our shit together. The ones that complete their repairs in a timely fashion should conduct a raid on the west coast of the United States. And then, forces that are already committed in the area of Oceania, which I guess is a pretty large area, but I'm taking that to mean the forces that are, well, I'll just show you. These forces here, basically. That's what I'm going to go ahead and say. The 14th is, it's not really committed anywhere because it's finishing repairs, but basically anything that is doing something right now. These ships are looking for the American battleships and are kind of there, I guess, now in particular, to defend against the Australians when they show up. And they will. Come hell or high water, because we declared war on them effective the 13th, but they might join earlier. But anyways, so yeah, we're supposed to keep these guys here more or less. These guys are supposed to head on over here and do a little raiding. Oh, and also, I guess he wants me to reorganize my fleets too, to get them in better shape. That's kind of, I guess, part of his repair and resupply, part of his order. What to say about this? Well, I will say that these are challenging orders for several reasons. The main one is, you know, the U.S. is just awful far away. It's not real close. And the fleets that I'm assuming that he wants me to use are basically on the other side of the map from the United States. So they will have to resupply somewhere, obviously, and we really don't have very many bases that are suited to this. We have these three bases here, which are basically equidistant from the United States, and they're not, even then, they're not real close. And they also, between them, I think each one of them has a single dock, so doing any kind of big operation is really kind of hemmed in by that limitation. What else? I mean, other than, I mean, the obvious, I mean, it really is a matter of distance, and then all the issues stem from that. In addition to making resupply on the way difficult, we also will have to have enough fuel to get back. So I'm not sure that that's even practical. I'm going to certainly give it my best, but it just is, it's going to be a while. And also, by the way, the third fleet, which is one of the fleets, again, that I think he wants me to use, is in dry dock here in Saigon for 8 days. And I don't want to countermand his other part of his order to bring them out of dry dock early and possibly risk losing them. Because he said, repair them, and I want to repair them, so I'm going to repair them. But I'm just saying, it's a little bit tricky. Got a little balancing act going, and it's just a logistical challenge. So there you go. I'm just going to try to do my best. Otherwise, other than a pending raid on the west coast of the United States, I have my other fleets in the area of the Solomons, and I guess Gilbert, looking for the American battleships, because they have proven to be quite a nuisance. I think I will probably locate them this turn, to be honest with you. I have fleets, you can see I already have given my fleets orders for the turn, and I am expecting that they're going to arrive in the area of Guadalcanal, and I have plenty of turn points left, and I should be able to detect them unless the weather is uncooperative. I actually didn't think to check. I'm not a meteorologist. What do you want? Well, you know... Oh, wait, no. I was reading that wrong. Guadalcanal is just cloudy. So we can still detect them. If we were dealing with this square, anything in this little square here, we'd have a problem because it's raining. So, there you go. I'm also moving some Marines around, and I think the map has already been updated to possibly reflect that. But the general idea is that I want the 15th and the 16th to end up in Biak, because I want to have them ready for the Australians, to at least so that we can attack Wewak, which is which is a funny word, but also which is this red dot here. So that's the idea with that. I've reassigned some base commanders to Biak and Batavia, and I've also put planes there, which is important. I would put planes in Port Moresby, but it's cut off, so I can't do that. But again, it's also in anticipation of the Australian offensive. So there you go. Just to summarize, I guess these fleets. Well, those aren't fleets. Let's go to fleets. So it's going to be the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 9th, and 12th fleets going to the west coast and resupplying at Wake and possibly Marcus and possibly Marshall. The 7th, 14th, and 15th fleets are kind of our problem fleets right now. Let's take a quick look. You can see the 5th fleet is just cruisers, which isn't horrible, but it's not great. We don't ever really want to have fleets that are just one thing. The one exception, and this is one that Grimmeth pointed out, I don't know why I'm crediting him, but he's not the first one to think of it, but he did mention it, and I guess it's why it's fresh in mind. But is the one exception is that you may want to at some point have a fleet of all destroyers, which can be useful for anti-submarine warfare. And that's basically all that the enemy has at this point. But the 15th fleet here, you can see, has just one cruiser, which is a light cruiser. And by the way, it's the Ubari, which is I was reading about, and it was just kind of this ship that was an experimental ship that they used to try different technologies. So it's kind of a chimera, but it's a cruiser technically. And then, let's see, what was the 7th? Yeah, the 7th is one cruiser and 4 destroyers. They're just too underpowered, all 3 of those fleets, to really do anything with, so I'm going to try to mash them together, maybe, somehow. I don't know. So that's the idea. I'm going to go ahead and conclude the move phase here, and probably the next thing you will see is me crashing my ships into the enemy battleships. So we did indeed detect the American battleships near Guadalcanal. And they are shelling Guadalcanal, which is empty. Just saying. Kind of a waste of their time, but shine on, you crazy diamonds. Because they themselves will be shelled. They do pack a wallop, though. It's pretty impressive. So, okay. I might have ordered this dinky little fleet to go ahead and attack these battleships, but I think you guys know why. Not because I'm an idiot, although that's a discussion for another time. We do know, though, about the ferocious power of the oxygen torpedo. This could be a huge mistake. With that said, let's find out. Not gonna watch. I could game it and play as those ships, but I'd rather just have them sink outright. I made a boo-boo. Meanwhile, we have the 5th fleet attacking these easily underestimated ships. Let's see what happens with this. Uh-oh. See, now, that's promising. That's good news. That's good stuff. And we got another fleet, which is 7 destroyers and a light cruiser heading at him. I regret actually hitting no there, or maybe not. Handled. Okay. Well, you know, that takes care of one problem, folks, because that fleet was underpowered anyways, right? Oh. Striking at our very soul. So we're attacking transports at Hawaii still. It was a gamble. I'm not gonna lie. I knew that when I issued the order, but I had a decent feeling about it. It's not to say that they didn't do any damage either. So, you know, it was calculated risk, and the risk didn't end up being worth it. It's like the stock market, right? I feel like I'm, you know, explaining to my boss why there is just a massive puddle of urine under my desk, which happens surprisingly often. No, it's just the occasional thing. Well, we're destroying transports at Hawaii, so that's good. It's kind of just punitive more than anything. It's not doing a whole lot, but we have neutralized the threat around the Solomon Islands. We have also neutralized our own, what was it, the 15th Fleet? Yep. Well, they'll bounce back or something. Did P.T.O die? Let's find out. I like that guy. He looks so grumpy. He was the guy that was in command of that fleet. Sometimes they don't die, so... Uh-oh. I don't see him. Ah, well. They probably lost their own admiral, though. Eye for an eye. Alright. Anywho. Solomons are safe. We're gonna probably be ordering those ships that are in the area probably to go back to Chuk to resupply and so on. That said, the American... Well, no, we should keep some ships there. I'm gonna keep the 5th Fleet there. So we only have 3 fleets there now. Yeah, that's right. That's how that worked out. Yeah, I'm going to keep these guys actually hanging out there a little bit. We should take a look at the damage that was sustained by the 5th. Come on. The Fuso is not looking too good. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to send them back. Because really, when you think about it, I don't think that they have too many more battleships left. So yeah, let's go ahead and send the 5th back. These other 2 fleets are just going to hold down the fort. And we're going to see if the Americans try to make another inroad here and at Gilbert. Because they seem really fixated on Gilbert in particular. So that'll be the next couple of turns. And otherwise, we're going to keep following the preliminary order to get everybody resupplied and repaired. This is a somewhat distressing development here in Guadalcanal. We have a single... Okay, let's get rid of the weather report there. We have a single enemy cruiser heading for Guadalcanal. I'm worried, though, because they might actually be in range to shell it, and that means that they could potentially land troops. And embarrassingly enough, we don't have any Marines there. We could... Well, it's too late. I mean, we're in the plan phase, I guess. Shit, I should have probably shuttled some Marines over there, but, oops, I guess. One of my trademark blunders, right, folks? Yeah, that's it. We do have a fleet near, well, actually, I think it's in Marshall that would be able to do something about this. As it is, we really don't have a response. The fleet that detected the cruiser is this one here, and he's out of gunnery range. He's not able to shell them. And he certainly doesn't have enough... he has 6 scouts, which I don't think... Well, I don't know. They could probably take out a cruiser. They were bound and determined, but... unlikely, and the game doesn't really allow for that. I'm going to have them do some more searches just to make sure there isn't anything else there, but I'm going to be really embarrassed if they are able to actually land troops there. Well, we caught a bit of a lucky break there. They did not end up shelling Guadalcanal. Was lucky for an additional reason. We have a fleet there. Yes, I resupplied a fleet there. I have a really bad habit of using forward bases like Guadalcanal to resupply my fleets, and I just don't seem to learn my lesson. But we got lucky because there's a storm, and I don't think that they can actually shell us. I don't think that we can have this fleet depart. I would really like it if they could depart. Can you depart? You can't, or not debark, depart. Alright, fine. Depart. Derp. Who knows? The 11th Fleet. Can you do anything right now? Run into a storm. The crew are busy. They can't do anything. Alright, fine. They're busy dealing with the storm? Are they like yelling at the gods saying, "Stop it!" I don't know. Obviously they're engaging in, you know, life-saving things and, you know, counter-flooding and not dying, I guess. Fine. Well, that's distressing, but, you know, it's a big nothing, I guess, in the long run. I have some of my subs sailing away from Hawaii because we're just torpedoing the shit out of their transports at this point, and I would like to have them refocus a little bit down to the south here if they can. And we're going to keep some around, don't get me wrong, but for the time being I think that that's the best use for them, to get them involved in the operations near Australia. Other than that, I'm going to order my Marines correctly this time, and see how the next couple of turns go. So there's good news and bad news. Bad news. Fleet number 5 arrived at Truck, and it is broken as shit. I told them to do the full repair. You do have the option of giving them a quick repair where you just select specific components to fix. But, you know, I figured we're probably fine. We're, you know, there's not really much of an enemy navy to worry about, and even when the Australians do come into the war, they're not going to really pose much of a threat navy-wise. So I figured it was okay, and I'm going to have the first fleet here in Makassar kind of backfill. I'm going to have them actually sail to Biak, I decided. I was thinking of having them operate out of Makassar, but Biak is actually a better location because then they can shell Wewak, and then probably Rabaul. That's the idea, I guess. So yeah, that kind of sucks that they're going to be out of commission for 29 days. But like I say, I think it's acceptable. You know, we can deal with it. But in good news, we have detected the enemy cruiser, I guess, in the area of Guadalcanal. And we have a whole dog pile of ships dealing with this lone American cruiser. And by the way, we do have Marines here, so it's not going to be a complete catastrophe if they do somehow land Marines there. Other than that, let's take a look. Yeah, everybody's just kind of ambling on over to the east-northeast to strike at the American continent, which reminds me, actually, I live in Oregon, which I didn't realize until now, but in Oregon here, we have 2 locations that were sites of Japanese attacks, and actually, I think, well, of course the Japanese attacked Alaska, the Aleutian Islands, but as far as the lower 48, didn't they? I think they attacked some oil derricks off of the coast of California, but 2 instances actually perpetrated by the same Japanese submarine on different missions, but there was a shelling at, go ahead and show you on the map, actually. Right about, wait for it, right there. Exactly where my, well, just about exactly where my square is. I'll actually use my mouse. There's a fort here called Fort Stevens. It's on the outskirts of a town called Astoria, and it's at the mouth of the Columbia River, the Great River of the West, and it was shelled by a Japanese submarine. I think just for the hell of it, basically. And nothing really happened with it. The battery commander at Fort Stevens told his men not to fire back because he didn't want to reveal the position of his guns, and also to, you know, if they shot back, there was a possibility that the Japanese could kind of train their guns a little bit better on them and actually land some hits. The only casualty of the shelling was the backstop for the baseball field at the fort there was blown up. That's it. There were some craters and stuff too. Fort Stevens is actually a really cool spot to go to. It's kind of creepy. It's very Blair Witch, but I do recommend it. And also, I'm trying to remember. I think it was the I-25 that did all this. The I-25 actually was able to carry a seaplane, and on, I think, a later mission, it launched that plane. Let's get rid of the weather forecast. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. It's cloudy in Oregon. That's fine. Sunny in Seattle, though? What? Anyways, it launched a seaplane that dropped a couple of incendiary bombs in the area near Brookings, which is actually further south. It's probably more like that. And it rains in Oregon, so it didn't really work. But I think it was because we had had some terrible forest fires in the past, and they thought, we'll really get them this way, but it didn't work. So, just a little fun bit of trivia that Oregon was actually the location of a couple of pretty, serious Japanese attacks. Nowhere near like, anything that happened in the Aleutians, but it happened. So there you go, a little bit of trivia for you. Meanwhile, I need to focus on actually killing the American fleets and all that tawdry business. So I will see to that forthwith. And here's another nugget of joy for you. I did, surprisingly intelligently, tell my fleets to do another search, and I discovered another American fleet of 2 destroyers. Yeah, so watch out for them. They are sadly out of range, but we should be dealing with them next turn. But they're heading for Guadalcanal, God bless them. 10th Fleet, meanwhile, is going to be ruthlessly attacked. And by 10th Fleet, I mean 1 cruiser. Okay, our 11th Fleet is attacking the 10th Fleet. And it looks like my fears were actually validated here. They did have, or already talking about them in the past tense, they do have 2 units of transport, so it is likely that they were going to try to land Marines on Guadalcanal. They probably will not have the opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and watch this because I imagine that it's going to be fairly brief. Just go ahead and... Oh, wait. I'll just delegate. I think you guys can handle this, right? It's so jaunty, it's irresistible. It's firing a torpedo already, so... Ooh. Haru saw me, but they saw the torpedo. That, I don't know, is that a pun? What happened there? Really not sure. Well, shucks. We might get a little shot off at our destroyers there, but I imagine that we'll be okay. He's pretty fast. Blah, blah, blah. Oops. Well, I think that's probably the only attack they're going to get off here. Oh, that's the transports. Blah, who cares? If we sink the cruiser, we automatically sink the transports. That's the rule. Oh, we're going to use torpedoes. Well, alright. To great effect, apparently. This is my problem with letting the AI take command in these little situations here. What are you doing? Can I... Oh my god, you guys. What are you thinking? Just kill the cruiser, how about that? Yeah? Samidare. Will Sammy dare? Sammy does dare to shoot torpedoes. But you know, he missed, but I appreciate the effort. Thumbs up. It's getting pretty friendly here. There you go. That's what we like. Oh, and it's on fire. We love fire. Fire. Hilarious. Okay. That was not what I would do. But you get down with your bad self. Now, he does have to spend a turn possibly extinguishing the fires, so... I shouldn't have said a goddamn thing about this being a short battle. He's gonna shoot at the transports, isn't he? What a prick. Oh no, he's shooting at a destroyer, so he's gonna miss. Excellent. If we land another hit on him, we'll be a-okay, so let's just do that. Right? Come on. Cruiser is gonna... Okay, he's gonna shoot at the enemy cruiser. Could sink him with this. But didn't. Alright, come on guys. Get it together. Jeez. Oh, is he gonna be able to... Yeah, okay. I didn't think so. Obviously, you can't shoot torpedoes through your own ships. That just doesn't work. Why? What are you... He might be damaged. Maybe that's why he's running away? Stop with this gun shit. It's not what you're good at. It's not your strong suit. God damn it. Well, we're in it for the long haul, folks. Just gonna watch this whole ridiculous affair play out. Not Sugumo. There's Gumo, and then there's not Sugumo, and Sherman died in battle. I thought he died in the 1800s. It's a terrible joke for a terrible event. Alright, well, we took care of that one cruiser. Well done. And we automatically, like I say, have automatically sunk all the transports, so if they did have Marines, they're all gone. Alright. So now we just have to deal with the destroyers and also sink some more transports in Hawaii gratuitously.